Hey y'all, I wanted to talk about Cold Abyss. This is a game that I got to play the demo of on Steam on PC. I was able to use controller with it, although some moments it felt like using keyboard and mouse was a little easier. This is a game that's atmospheric. You're this character who gets in this diving suit, and you're basically sent to the bottom of the ocean, and you're fixing these pipes. You're part of this company that is networking all these things together, and you're the one person that's there currently, and your job is to fix all these pipes, and that's what the demo is. And you have to fix 10 pipes or so. I would walk around, basically, or I can sometimes do a little bit of a run, and go find a pipe, meld it together, and then that would be it. Now, the way the game works is that you have a couple different tools. One is the one to actually meld the pipe together, which you only have to like basically be relatively close for it to work, and it does it really quick. And then you have another tool that allows you to kind of see. It's your navigation tool. It's sort of a map per se. You don't have a map in the game, but this tool is like a radar, and it shows you, oh, this pipe is here, this oxygen tank's here, it's this distance, it's relatively high up or low, and you just have to kind of go in a direction and hopefully you run into it. Now, the game itself does have this kind of creepy atmosphere. Like, even when you get out of the thing, if you look to the side, you can find a dead body. So it does have a bit of a horror element there. And another tool you use is a flashlight. You kind of need it to see where you're going. It's really tough to see without it, and it only goes so far, so even if you're going along using a flashlight, you're surrounded by the darkness of the ocean. So it creates this kind of uncomfortable, somewhat claustrophobic, oddly enough, unease and atmosphere when you're playing it. And I really like that part about it. The game does have that early PlayStation vibe to it, like kind of like an early Resident Evil, so if you vibe with that style, you're gonna like this. And the game controlled well enough. But I had a couple issues with the game, but the main issue was being the actual navigation itself was almost too confusing to me. I understood how it worked, but sometimes I'd be heading to be like, oh, here's this pipe. And I would end up running into like an oxygen tank on the way there, which is something you need. And that's something I want to touch on real fast. You have oxygen that you use as you're moving around, and if it gets low, you kind of get unconscious and basically reset to the beginning of where you started. So you have to constantly keep an eye on that, and if you do decide to move a little quicker, it's gonna drop. So you're constantly keeping an eye on that, but you're also trying to find where these pipes are, and sometimes you'd be going one direction, and all of a sudden another pipe would pop up, and then you kind of get confused if you go a certain way, and I'm like, oh, is this the same pipe I was originally following, or is this a different one? And then you would kind of figure out the distance, and then sometimes you get there and find a pipe. Sometimes it would say it was up, but you couldn't see it, or it was down low, you couldn't see it. The pipes do make this sound, this like creepy sound that sounds like it's people talking, so you can kind of use that to help guide you in a general area. That helped a lot in terms of me being like, okay, I know I'm somewhere nearby pipe somewhere, and the radar's telling me it's kind of here, but I still have no clue where in this area it is, so I have to kind of look around this couple feet and kind of hopefully run into it and just follow the sound. So the navigation was a little bit wonky and confusing to me, even though I understood how it worked. I felt like it could have been done better. So sometimes I would still run out of oxygen and die because I would follow this pipe, and then it would be further along than I thought it would be, and I would think, oh, I'll run into an oxygen tank. So that's where some of my frustrations with the game happen, where I would be going to a pipe, oh, there might be an oxygen tank nearby. If there was in my travels, great. But sometimes there wasn't, where I'd be going these really long distances and really pushing on the verge of being unconscious and losing oxygen, and I would almost get there and like pass out and be frustrating. And so even though it was kind of free roam in terms of what pieces of pipe and stuff you hit, you don't really know resource wise where you're gonna hit on the way there. So sometimes I'll end up going super long distances without getting a chance to refill my oxygen, and it became frustrating and annoying. And I did get to this pipe at one point where I saw it and I couldn't get to it. It was on this platform and there was no jump button, at least with my experience. I couldn't find a jump button. And the character didn't want to go up these like 2 tiny little steps to get to this pipe. And I like looped all the way around. And that's kind of where my experience with the game overall ended. I didn't get to finish the demo just because I got so frustrated. I couldn't even climb up these 2 steps to get to this pipe. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna be able to finish this if I can't get up here. What's the point in trying to get to all these other places? And it got more frustrating that I would have to reset every time and go find this pipe. So I see the potential of this game if it had like a bigger budget to it and had the tech of like say Soma, which I recently played. I could see the potential there being a really cool game. It's just with the tech limitations and the way it is right now, I just got too frustrated with it and had to dip out on this demo. But make sure to check out, y'all. It is out there on Steam. I'm sure developer would appreciate any feedback, and hopefully there's improvements with the game to make experience a little bit better for everybody, because I definitely see the potential there of something very interesting.